We'll see. So, just what Paul Ryan's debate strategy is going to be, let's go ringside to the debate site in Kentucky. We're joined live by John Heilemann, the National Affairs Editor from New York Magazine, and Illinois Republican Congressman Aaron Schock, who's a close pal of Paul Ryan. Okay, gentlemen, thank you. Aaron Schock, when was the last time you talked to Ryan, and what is inside his head?
Well, Sunday he was in Chicago for a fundraiser. I had the chance to have lunch with he and his wife, Jana, and he's doing great. He's had been doing debate prep with Ted Olson, who has been playing Joe Biden. But the great thing about Paul is that he's a man of substance. He's a man of specifics. He's a man of great policy depth, which is why I think Joe Biden chose him as his running mate. And so he really just needs to use this opportunity to communicate with the American people about what his plans are, and really to hold Vice President Biden's feet to the fire as to what the Obama rhetoric is. A lot of their time has been spent vilifying Paul Ryan, vilifying their plan, right, without offering specifics of their own or really what they've done for the 4 years while they've been in control of the country.
John Heilemann, it seems to me Joe Biden has got a big problem. Joe Biden has a resume about foreign policy. Whether one agrees with his views or not, he has a long resume about foreign policy, as you well know, John. But here's the rub. He starts talking about foreign policy. If he tries to lord that over Paul Ryan, you know what's going to happen. Ryan is going to go Benghazi Gate. And I don't know what Biden's going to say, because neither Biden nor Obama have talked to the media since this thing has broken out.
Well, maybe Vice President Biden will make some news tonight, Larry. First of all, I want to say I'm happy to be here with my son, Congressman Schock. He's a fantastic young man. I think that Senator Biden, has been a systematically underestimated debater throughout his career. He makes his share of gaffes. And the gaffes that he makes lead people to think that he's dumb, or that he's their kind of drunk uncle or whatever. But if you look back over his history, he's performed very well at debates. He's manages to be. He's a great student. He's a great master of applied intelligence. He tends to win the debates that he's in by mixing a lot of data, surprisingly, with a lot of humanity. And so I think you're going to see, and I think you'll see this from Paul Ryan tonight too, an attempt not to get lost in the weeds, not to get to make substantive arguments, and to try, on Biden's part, particularly to draw ideological contrast between him and Paul Ryan. But also, I think, an attempt on both of them to draw on their family histories, and to try to make them not seem too wonky, and get too far down in the policy.
We're going to get some down-home stuff tonight, and that's fine. I'm all for that. But Aaron Schock, I want to ask you something. In terms of policy, I think one of the winners for Mitt Romney a week ago was when he said several times that he would cross the aisle and seek common ground to work with Democrats to make a deal that'll stop America from going bankrupt and get this economy growing again. Romney said that a couple of times, Aaron, and I think it really helped him in the polls, and especially among independents. Now, question to you and your friend Paul Ryan. Do you think Ryan will offer a similar olive branch, cross the aisle, common ground? Because Obama couldn't get a deal, Aaron, and that's a big problem for Obama.
Well, I think that you raised a great stark contrast between the rhetoric and the reality. Here's Paul Ryan. He doesn't have to talk about what he would do as vice president, what his goals would be in terms of bipartisanship. He actually has a record in the Congress of putting together a budget that got an overwhelming majority of conservative and moderate and liberal Republicans behind that budget, and he was able to put together a Medicare reform proposal, not just with Republicans, but with a liberal Democrat from Oregon named Ron Wyden, and a bipartisan Medicare proposal. That's in sharp contrast from the president, who really has had a failure of leadership of putting together some kind of a budget deficit reduction plan.
I don't like to disagree with my son Aaron Schock, but I do think putting together a budget that has the support of a bunch of Republicans is not exactly, and no Democrats, is not exactly a calling card for bipartisanship.
Well, I'll just tell you this, though. I think it's very interesting that Mitt Romney, who did a bunch of this in Massachusetts, has made that one of the calling cards, and conservatives in the party are not revolting. I think they like the idea that Romney will cross the aisle the way Chris Christie crossed the aisle. They like the idea of winning. They like the idea of winning. You're exactly right. And I think they like the idea of saving America from bankruptcy also. Anyway, we have to leave it there. John Heilemann, thank you very much. Congressman Aaron Schock, same thanks. Coming up tonight.